We're broadcasting.
Hello, sir. I just have a question for you. Where are you going to be staying? Are you going to be here in Santa Fe for a while, or?
They booked me in an Airbnb.
And were you going to be at the Airbnb for a while, or were you planning on going to California?
I'll be here for as long as I need it here.
Okay.
I'm going anyway.
Okay. So the detectives are not going to be able to come out right this second. I know the doctor was talking about releasing you here pretty soon, with the next few hours.
Okay.
So if they're not able to actually come here and talk to you tonight, then they'll follow up with you tomorrow morning.
Will I be able to talk to them about pressing charges?
Pressing charges?
It's shot.
Okay.
I was shot.
Yeah. I mean,
Pressing charges. How dare you?
he seems upset.
I'm upset. I was shot. I was doing my job, and all of a sudden I was shot.
Yes, ID girl, it is Sousa.
Yes,
The elusive Sousa. There's not much out there, so the footage.
That's some rare footage there.
Now it is too. I mean, they put out all this stuff and then they took it down. So Mark and I, we scrambled to collect all the footage and keep it. Unfortunately, we still have it on hand. How's everybody doing? By the way, we are also on Rumble. Anybody who wants to go over to Rumble?
I'm going over to Rumble.
Okay.
Wait, Hunley, wait here. I'll be right back.
Okay, let me know when
I'm
you
over
get
to Rumble. See how it's working over there.
Yeah, I'll look out for you.
I'm wearing a red suit on Rumble, which is kind of interesting. Here, I'm just going all blue.
Yeah. We got a special filter for you.
Filter on Rumble.
I actually did put a poll in the chat just now, though, because I've noticed there's been a little bit of grumbling and social and things like that about, is this the Alec Baldwin channel, blah, 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 blah.
Dude, when we don't do Baldwin, they go crazy. When we do Baldwin, they complain.
Right. Well, you know what? I'm going to put it to them. I'm going to put a poll in. Are you sick of Baldwin? Yes or no? And then they can vote in the poll, and we may or may not, we don't always follow what the polls tell us.
We don't?
No, we tend to follow cash, then the poll.
Money talks.
Yes, definitely.
We get Rich Barris to do a poll internationally about whether we should do Baldwin or not.
Exactly. But we definitely wanted to throw that out there. Now, for today, I was actually looking forward to this one because this is a guy that nobody really talks about a lot. He's been smart. He has a lawyer, never said anything publicly himself. He sent his lawyer out to talk. And what's interesting about Dave Halls, today's subject,
Dave Halls, okay, right,
is he has this really, really terrible reputation.
What?
Allegedly. I mean, in the headlines.
Come on. He's done 35, 50 films. I mean, he doesn't have that. He wouldn't be working if he had that reputation.
True. Obviously, people are feeding the things in. And yes, he does have an incredibly long resume.
IMDb is massive.
Yeah, he's on just about every movie. And I think you're the one who said that he's the adult on the set. So everybody's going to be annoyed with him anyway.
Right. Him and Mamie are the two adults, and they apparently hate each other, these two parents.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. There may be something to that. I don't know. But we have quite literally dozens of clips to go through.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to pull here, Hunley?
A lot of clips.
They're short clips, though. We don't have to spend our life on this. These are short.
No, it's going to be our life. And we expect super chats the whole time. We're going to be here till midnight.
What about the new thing where they thank you on the comment section?
The super
everything's super duper with these channels. You ever notice that?
Well,
everything's super.
Oh, it's true, but if I get money, it's super.
No, I understand your incredible hunger for great wealth, but I'm just commenting linguistically on the word super, which I find fascinating because I grew up worshiping Superman and wearing a Superman costume as a boy. So when I see super, I always think of Superboy, Superman,
Hey, I'm just trying to be an honorary member of your tribe.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So what do you have today for us, Hunley? And from your lair, your underground bunker?
Okay. For today, we have a lot of hauls. We'll play a clip, pick it up, and comment. Everybody in the chat, please play along.
Kids in the halls.
Okay.
And it is.
Oh,
again,
I just want to say one thing before you start. This is from the body cam of the Hooter girl, Hancock, right?
Yeah,
At
so
one point,
she's moved from Brett girl to Hooter girl.
She went from Brett girl to Hooter girl because the hair comes down again, blocking the camera. I mean, I didn't clip those clips because I couldn't see through the forest of Breck. She's completely cognizant of the fact that her arm, for 90% of these clips, her arm and her sweater are blocking the camera. And then for the other 5%, her hair is blocking the camera. So you have to look through a jungle of Breck hair. These are the ones that are not going to be blocked, but there will be some blockage. It's so funny because she's dealing with the death of a cinematographer, and she, in fact, by herself, is the worst cinematographer on the entire police force. But go on, Hunley.
That is called true irony.
True irony.
All right. So Dave Halls, we get to actually see, okay, who this guy is. He's a fairly soft-spoken individual. So hopefully these come out okay on volume.
Who is on the armorer team?
Well, Hannah, I don't remember her last name.
Okay.
The armor. And then Sarah, I don't know her last name either. Is more of the prop master, but helps Hannah. I think all that whole prop department. There was a third person that came on. I don't think she was there at the beginning.
Now, I think that's actually interesting because it shows exactly. I mean, he is the guy right there on the scene all the time,
right?
And he knows of Hannah and Sarah, but he doesn't. It's like I don't know the last name. There's some third girl.
Yeah,
it shows the disconnect.
Funny you said that because he doesn't know the last name of any person, and all their names are on the call sheet every single morning for 3 weeks. It says Eric Hunley, Eric Hunley, Eric Hunley, catering. And he just goes, I don't know, some guy named Eric. I don't know. I mean, granted, he's done, a lot of films, but at some point, these are not Chinese or foreign names. They're kind of like just American. What's her name? Sarah Zachary.
Zachary, yeah,
the head of the prop department. You don't know Sarah Zachary.
Now I understand Nicole because she got hired at the last
Nicole's
minute or whatever. And it's like, she's not around. She's that other one, whatever.
But he says that. I mean, he says that Hannah's father, some guy in the movie business, who made me famous and I'm going like, dude, you would work like with a guy like Thel. Thel's a legend. I don't understand how he doesn't even know who Thel is.
Yeah. That
anyway, I meant to tell you that yesterday. I thought that was bizarre, but
yeah, and that's definitely what we want to. And
yeah, because the guy who's looking at the call sheet all the time, Eric was on the call sheet. Yeah, Eric was removed from the call sheet immediately. But the guy who's always handling and dealing with the call sheet, other than obviously the UPM, Pickle and Row, which is some sort of company down on Delancey Street. The UPM and the line producer, Pickle and Row. I mean, they're cranking out these call sheets every night. But the first guy to get the call sheet is him. He's the guy that gets the call sheet with all the names on it. Anyway, and the head of the department is right up there on the top of the call sheet.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so what do we have next here? I gotta keep track online.
Okay, and are you in charge of them?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm their supervisor, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Now, that's kind of interesting because he's talking in movie terms. He is, but he later explains that he's not because the cops are going, all right, you're the supervisor. Now we could grill you as the supervisor. And then he backtracks because he's really not the supervisor, but he is because he's the. What was your analogy with the Army who's running the show for the?
He's like the first sergeant. If you're in the Army, you have the captain or the commanding officer who is in charge. That would be the director. They say, I want the company, I want to go here. I got to go march on this hill. I got to do this. And he turns to the first sergeant. The first sergeant says, get your asses over, to all the platoon leaders. And it goes right down the line. So yeah, he's the guy who calls people over, says, I need lighting, I need this, I need that.
Right, but when he senses that that's why they want to know he's a supervisor, he goes the other way. Go ahead.
Yep, let's see if we can get that one. Now, this one might come in quiet. and I apologize ahead because of Google Drive, folks. Pain in the neck.
Who would directly be her supervisor then?
See, it's a, this whole movie business thing is weird. It's not set up like, normal corporation,
Okay. Salesperson, manager, general manager. It's not set up like that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there really no, protocols or checks when it comes to this
Yes.
or handling of
On
weapons?
set there is, yes. Absolutely, there's protocols.
Okay. But not for storage and,
Not that I'm aware of. I've never seen that language.
okay.
Yeah, he's
So
right
there we go.
about that. He's right, Eric. There are protocols for the guns on the set, but the storage, it's kind of willy-nilly. He is correct. He says there's a prop truck and just sitting there all day. It's open. He's right about that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. It is a weird business, and you can hear that in there. I mean, wasn't it you who compares them to carnies going around?
Yeah, they're roustabouts. They're carnival roustabouts. That's what, when I was doing it, you just went to the next carnival, wherever the town was. You might have to go to another city, but a lot of the people are the same, and some of them aren't. So you get new people, and they have interaction socially. They do things to each other. They get drunk. They shoot guns. They get arrested. I mean, all kinds of crap happens in the
The
carnival.
fun things, the good parts.
Well,
Yes.
no, I mean, that's what, think about carnies. They're kind of sketchy people, aren't they? But they're
No,
putting you
they're
on the
called-
ride. The guy who tells you to put the bar down on the ride, who's 95 pounds, is missing a tooth, is completely a sketchy looking alcoholic. That's film people. They're not the healthiest looking people. That's who they are. Glad I got out alive, but many people haven't, obviously.
And to use your ride analogy, you're like, okay, so I'm going on many tons of steel that's going to thrash me around
Yeah.
in different directions. I look at him and go, oh yeah, I'm perfectly safe. I'm going to jump right in.
Well, I grew up in Coney. I grew up in Coney Island, so I know that type of person who works in Coney Island. I grew up on the bumper cars, the Wonder Wheel, the steeplechase, all that stuff. And the guys running it were always the sketchiest looking alcoholic weirdos, child molesters, whatever the hell they were. You did not want
Outcasts.
to engage. They were outcasts. Yeah. Some of them were all right, but I mean, they just look very sketchy.
No, I mean, there's some nice prisoners too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's good people everywhere. All right, what do we have next? Oh,
Yes,
Is there anybody that checks the guns?
yes.
Who does?
Her and I,
Okay. Did you check them this morning?
yes,
All of them?
yes.
And was there anything out of the ordinary?
The gun's first thing in the morning was not the gun in question.
Okay.
The gun in question is the gun that Alec Baldwin had.
Okay.
So, I can tell you what the safety protocols are.
Yeah, let's start there.
She brings me the guns. I look down the barrel, make sure that there's no obstructions in the barrel. Most of the time, there's no live fire. They just have them on themselves
Okay.
as a prop or as a costume
Mhm.
piece.
Oh,
And then
Here
she
comes the
opens
arm.
up, for a revolver, she opens up the hatch, and spins whatever you call that, the drum. See, it's empty, it's empty.
Okay.
And I say, okay, cold guns on set. That's how we do it.
I got excited for a second because it went whoop. He was suddenly full frame and it was
Right.
like, oh,
No,
never
it's
mind.
almost like they're running a 60 minutes hidden camera episode, the way these things
practically.
are filmed. I mean, what part of these interviews don't they know how to just put a camera on a guy? It's ironic, like you said, they're interviewing film people,
Mhm.
and the camera's just completely all over the map. But anyway, we kind of got the gist of what he was saying there, I think.
John Cook. Do you feel strongly about this, John Cook?
To the 71% not to please focus, no more of this fucking retard Baldwin. John Cook showing up with his opinion. Way to go.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to buy your way out of this, Cook, with a super chat.
a
Because
lot.
that
of
ain't gonna
super
cut it.
chats.
That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, you need a lot of super chats, buddy.
Yeah, brother. There's some angry Baldwin episode people who want to see this.
Yeah, and the numbers are working. So
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can only go by the numbers. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'll go over by. Of course, we'll go with whatever we want that's going to satisfy us.
I know. We don't need, we're complete whores at this point. We're whores for YouTube. That's why I get dressed up, because I may pick up chicks or something.
Yeah, hey, you got to go out on the town.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the protocol. What do we have coming here? Halls 5.
You want to get into the incident?
Okay, this is significant. Now we're going to actually go into what happened, and he's describing the incident that happened at the time. So, and as far as the camera stuff, I kind of wish there was a freaking monitor above his head that he couldn't see, so the cops could go, "Oh, I'm out of frame," or something, because I'm guessing that they just go do whatever they're doing, and they have no discipline.
He would fire the camera crew and bring in another crew like he did with the other guys.
Yeah, except they quit.
They quit. I mean, I guess they quit.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Okay. I was the closest person to Alec Baldwin when it happened.
Emotionally.
The scene took place in a church, an old church, 19th century church, 1800s church. Typical pews on the side.
More cowbell. That's funny. The cowbell line is funny.
And I'm standing right here.
Uh-oh.
And we're doing a shot. It's a tight shot. He's sitting in this church. He's been all shot up. And these 2 U.S. Marshals come in. And it was a very tight shot of him pulling out the gun from his holster. I heard no plan of firing. There was no need of putting any kind of blanks in it or anything. It was just a tight shot of him pulling it out and going like this. Now, when you're shooting a tight shot of a gun, if you don't have what we call dummy loads in it, an audience member that knows anything about guns is going to go, that gun's not loaded. So
Okay.
you put these dummy loads in. And the dummy loads, from all of my experience, is they have like a little BB or something. And people said it's like clay inside the casing. And you shake it, and that's how you know it's a dummy load. Also, if the primer is depressed, it's a dummy load, because it shows you that this bullet, this casing, that bullet has been fired.
Okay.
And then a lot of times they have a hole drilled in the side. So you know it's a dummy round.
Oh, okay. So he's explaining the dummy rounds to her. It's funny because they can't really question him or any of these people without them explaining the universe of film.
Sure.
It's a really tough job for the cops, because they're questioning people about a world they don't know anything about. So not only do they have to answer the question, they have to explain the question to the cops, like how the question. Yeah. It's
so.
Yeah, it has to be defined.
Yeah.
And that's good. I mean, what he's doing is actually a courtesy, that he's breaking it down and going through all that.
Well, Hannah did the same thing. They've all done the same thing, except for Sousa, who says, "I'm pressing charges." He's not explaining anything.
Yeah.
But,
he wants one thing.
Baldwin did the same thing. He was talking about the squibs in the pews. I mean, they're all explaining things to the cops who don't know anything about film, obviously. So.
Yeah, ironically,
the difference is, let me tell you something. Here in LA, the cops know everything about film because they're so used to it. But this is New Mexico, so
a lot of them moonlight on films too, doing security and this and that, right? So
yeah, and they know the stars. It's a whole different thing here.
Extra cash for them. All right, so
this is a good ceiling shot. What is this one now?
Sadly, this is continuing with what actually happened. So it's some of the most important interrogation on it, so we have to, of course, have the camera going everywhere,
right?
Or it wouldn't be consistent. So come on, Brett girl.
Hannah brought me the gun. It was empty at the time. She said, I want to check the gun with you. She did all the things that we just talked about. Then she came back and said, I've put dummy loads in it, dummy rounds. She opened up the hatch, and I saw 3 bullets that all had depressed primers.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, now that's the most important thing he's ever said. So
It's getting significant too. I'm
That's
gonna roll through a
significant because
couple.
he says 3, and that's
Yeah.
going to come back to haunt everyone in this case. Is that word, that number 3?
Yes.
It's not 6, it's 3, folks at home. So just remember what he says here, because the guy's not drunk, he's not blind, and he says it's 3 rounds in that gun.
And you only
Yes. And
I
to
saw
continue on that
Go ahead.
note,
That nice arm. She's got more tattoos on that arm than she does on the other arm. I mean,
I
she's
know.
wearing these long sleeve things. There's a lot of work on there.
yep, and this is of course important. So why show us?
the
Boy,
3.
this cop is
Also
so.
the 3.
Okay.
Let's
Do you
get that.
normally check all of them, or
Whoa.
what do you usually do?
Should.
Okay.
You should. And is that what happened this time?
No. Didn't. I don't remember. If she might have spun it, I don't know. But I recall seeing three primers depressed.
So,
Now,
and don't you
okay,
wish you
again.
could see his face there, because it's so significant. He said, "I should, I
Right.
should,"
Right.
and then you should. Did this happen? No.
Okay. So we now know he's said he saw only 3,
Correct.
but he doesn't take them out. He doesn't remove them. He doesn't remember if she spun the barrel or not, and he admits he didn't remove them, but he visually sees 3. And the
Mhm.
reason spinning the barrel is important is because if she spun it, he might have seen the other 3, Eric. That's why the 3, I couldn't figure this out at first. He's looking at 3 with an unspun barrel. That's what he's looking at. I didn't understand what this meant.
Mm.
Now, the other 3 are on the other side, blocked. If she had spun the barrel,
Maybe he would have seen a primer, because it was a different color. It's a nickel colored, and it might have been like, that
that's
looks
one.
different.
That's one point. He also would have said, "I saw 6 rounds instead
Right.
of 3." He's admitting by saying, "I saw 3," that she didn't, or he doesn't remember, which he says, her spinning the barrel. That's why he says 3. Now that could be coached by a lawyer. You know what I mean? That she didn't spin the barrel. I don't.
It doesn't matter. He's saying he only saw 3.
Right.
It's his job to see all 6.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
her job
No
to
doubt
show
about
it all. They're
Right,
both,
right.
there's both liability here.
Right. But the crux of the case lies in this little tete-a-tete between her, Hannah, and him. Seeing, feeling, touching, spinning, counting. I mean, that's the entire case, right, Eric?
Essentially, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's majorly critical. That's why I'm so frustrated. It's like, I want to see his face. You can hear in his voice, if you really are listening, he feels bad. I mean, he's not in here
He
cocky.
breaks down. He gets very emotional later on. We'll see. You get into some of these other clips I found.
Okay.
Now, I'm speculating. Of course, it wasn't a bullet, because these bullets were 45 caliber dummy loads.
Wait, are we supposed to see this, Eric?
That
Or
would have thrown.
Oh, you got to tell me right away when I miss it. Yes,
I'm
we
telling you
are.
right now. I don't know.
Okay, okay, sorry. I was playing it. That's
I
why
was going
there's
to
a
send you
pause
an
here.
email, but I figured I'd use my voice.
Use your voice sooner.
Sorry. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
Now, I'm speculating.
Of course, you can't see it anyway.
Right.
Of course, it wasn't a bullet, because these bullets were 45 caliber dummy loads. That would have thrown her across the room. It would have ripped her shoulder off. So I can say with certainty that it was a blank. But these blanks have stuff, like wadding or whatever. So I've heard people say that's like pieces of wax or something, that kind of hold the powder together.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have
Okay.
time in them.
Yeah.
Okay, now for this, while you're thinking about it, I'm going to switch to Gandhi, because
Okay.
Gandhi talks about it too.
Well,
so we've got another kind of.
While you're
angle.
switching, let me just address that, because what Gandhi is going to kind of reinforce that. But what he's saying is, and he does not know that a projectile was removed from the shoulder of Sousa at this point in the storyline. He doesn't know that. He believes, and he's got a certain amount of expertise to believe this, that a 45 bullet would have been incredibly more destructive to both of them, and not stopped at going literally out of the wall of the church through both of them. And he's got a certain gravitas in explaining that, I think, Eric, because he feels that this is not as loud as it should have been. He feels that this is not the damage that a real bullet would have done. And yet he's baffled by the fact that she's passed away, and Sousa has a bullet in him as well, which leads us to Gandhi.
And yes, now here's the weird thing, but as you said, Hall said it wasn't as loud. Remember that.
Right.
To me, when it went off, I was really surprised. Have you guys established for sure that Halyna and Joel got hit by the same projectile? Because to me, they were kind of misaligned. Like maybe there was more than one piece.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how many shots did you hear?
One. There was certainly only one shot.
Okay.
But it was loud.
Right.
It was loud. Boom. That's why
Okay. So this is what the guy's name is, Tom Gandhi, I think it is.
Yes, and Tom was standing in the doorway,
Right.
of the scene at the time.
Right. Now, his expertise, in my humble opinion, is that he's the special effects coordinator.
Correct.
This is his world to know this crap in terms of a little bit of technology and a little bit of noise, volume, visual smoke coming out of a gun. That's his entire world. So we have to take his statement with some weight here, Eric, right?
Sure. Yes. And that's where, again, everything is confusing.
It's very confusing because he says, and other people said this earlier, when the event happened, I said it, in fact, that they were not lined up to have the bullet go through both of them in that direction. It's just odd. It's just very odd.
Everything is.
Right. I know everything is, but I'm just saying in terms of trajectory of the actual so-called.
Right. Somebody went back in time and
Right.
grabbed a Kennedy bullet, and they brought it with them to the Rust set.
Right. But what I'm saying is that
Never mind. Kennedy, never mind.
$3.99 you're talking about, right?
The magic bullet, yeah.
Right, the magic bullet. But the reality of it is the projectile that comes out of Sousa's shoulder is somehow linked to this bullet. Right? This is the projectile. And we're assuming that's the only thing that came out of that gun, right? But what Gandhi is saying, I heard one explosion, but it doesn't line up with the two wounds.
Okay, somebody here, Tom Parker, because I'm not the gun expert, and I have heard this, though. He's saying that Halls is lying because with the loading gate, you only see one round at a time. As you rotate, you see each round.
Well, it could be interesting. I'm not sure about that particular model. I'm not
Right,
sure.
well, again, I'm not going to,
I don't know about that model. If the barrel's half open.
Now.
Yeah.
Seth, give me a text.
Sorry, I'm not a gun expert on that model, of old Western guns. And
right, if Seth Kinney is watching, he might text and let me know that it can open fully or not open fully. So I don't know if he will be.
Well, I heard Seth Kenny was in South America at this time, so he may be coming back.
On the lam.
He's on the lam. Okay, so let's roll. Let's see what we got.
Let's roll. What do we have?
I can't say for certain if he pulled back the hammer. He said he did, but he didn't pull the trigger.
He didn't pull the trigger.
He said he didn't pull the trigger.
Okay.
And I believe he wouldn't do that.
So back to the mystery. Did he pull the trigger? Didn't he pull the trigger?
Okay. What Halls is saying is he told me he didn't pull the trigger.
Correct.
That's hearsay at this point. He told me he didn't pull the trigger.
I agree.
Now, what's with the hammer, though? He says, I saw him pull back the hammer. I don't really know if he pulled the trigger. He's saying he didn't pull the trigger.
Correct.
But the hammer, he sees him pull.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's significant.
I agree. I mean, that's something that everybody's been wondering about. Now we actually have Halls saying it. it's nice to have these things firsthand. I mean,
Right.
everything else we were trying to figure out before was through leaks, through extrapolations,
All
and
their
through
statements.
mouthpieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and mouthpieces. But the statements weren't really released. They were
I
just
know. I know.
kinda-
I know. We're getting into it.
After it went off, what happened then?
Well, both Halyna and the director fell down. And, we do these.
Interesting slip there. Both Halyna and the director.
He doesn't even know the guy's name. I'm trying to tell you, this guy is a gun for hire. Sorry, the pun, but he's done so many films that this is just another low budget indie that he's working on. Sousa, keep in mind, this is Sousa's second film of his entire career. So
Sure.
it's not like he's a household name, Sousa.
But this lends credence to what you were saying, that Halyna was probably giving the directions to Alec.
Yes, I said that from day one.
Yeah. Sousa has zero presence. He has so little presence that he doesn't even know his name. Halls doesn't know his name.
Okay,
I mean,
keep in mind that she's got, even with her limited experience, Hutchins, she's got far more experience than Sousa does. Sousa's only done one other film, as far as I know. I don't know if he's done some shorts or some videos or something, but he did Crown Vic with Thomas Jane. I think that was his first film, and I think Baldwin executive produced it.
and this is his second. Yes.
I think so, yeah. But Hutchins has had more experience than him, and I think Baldwin is trying to direct Hutchins in a lot of ways. I don't think he was happy about being directed by a woman, B, a cinematographer, and C, a foreigner.
But what I'm saying is, regardless if it was his fifth film or first film, if he had presence, if he had a command of a set, if he was in there at all, you would know his damn name. The fact that the first day didn't even know his name is really
and this is 3
suspect.
weeks. He's been on the set. This is like 6 weeks now, because he was on for 4 of prep and 2 or 3 before this happened. He still doesn't know the guy's name.
Yeah, which is very interesting. Either he doesn't know his name, or he has so little respect for him that he just refers to him by title.
Interesting.
Which could be as well.
Very interesting, because normally if he would say Joel or the first name, you would sense some intimacy, And we saw the reverse, 6 films including Rust. Why don't you name the films including Rust then? Okay, Director 6 were announced. Crown Vic. What is Break Night 2015? Yeah, Christmas Trade's a video.
Trade video.
These are videos. These are not feature films. Okay. Anyway, so remember we cited Baldwin for not using her name at the beginning when we started this series. How Baldwin never said her name because he didn't know her name.
Awesome.
Baldwin didn't know her name, even though he killed her. He still didn't know her name.
Right. Well, he changed up, and then he said, "A lovely Halyna."
Yeah, but that was for PR purposes. That was for PR purposes.
But I don't remember in his police interview. No, I think he said Halyna in the interview with him.
Once in a while.
All right, so I'll continue, but I want to point out, because I thought that was significant that he did not, they called him the director.
Shots are blanks quite often, and sometimes you get sprayed a little bit. You feel it.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that's just what it is, and I rushed over to her, and
he gets choked up there. He gets
and
choked
the
up.
director is back there going, what? What the fuck happened? I think he said, and then, are you okay? Are you okay? And she said, I can't feel my legs.
I can't feel my legs. Yeah.
And then I remember the director being in pain, and immediately was like, call 911. The set medic came in there. We cleared as many people out of there as we could. And
Okay.
Wow.
That's hard.
Yeah, that was harsh. Yeah, he was deeply affected by that. I mean, he was right there. I mean, you could tell he was emotional about describing that thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
but in the front end, what he talks about is how stuff flies out with blank rounds. You know,
Sure. A
which is
little
kind
bit
of
of powder, it blows the smoke. I mean, there's a little bit of like a cordite smell, because I've been around blanks.
right. No,
Yeah.
your whole life, obviously, because of your profession, you've been around blanks.
No, not my whole life.
But
okay.
no. But the point of the matter is, crap does fly out of it. There's wax in there.
Sure.
There might be some other stuff, and a lot of people thought she was hit by something.
Mhm.
You know, thinking it was blanks. Like, you know, what was she hit by? But there's obviously a projectile. I mean, any way you look at it, that's, you know, we discussed last night about that possibly being a full load of a blank, but then what's the projectile?
Yeah, and we went back and forth on, because Mark
Yeah.
was thinking it could be like a Brandon Lee scenario where a dummy part was stuck in the barrel. The only reason that I'm saying personally, I don't think that's possible, or I don't think it's reasonable, because there were multiple live actual rounds found all over the place that matched the one that was in the gun.
Yeah,
So
it
it's like,
doesn't
it just doesn't make sense that it's a hopped up blank.
right.
But the testimony is so weird. The whole, oh, it wasn't enough. Oh, it was loud. Oh, it's not. And it's so freaking confusing.
Well, I can only say it's like a Rashomon thing, because these people are describing a scene that they all witnessed, but took away different visuals and
True.
different feelings from the same scene. And it's why police, and why we've learned that actual human witnesses may be the worst type of evidence in an investigation, Eric, right?
Agree.
We hear this all the time, and now we're seeing contradictory evidence of eyewitnesses completely contradicting themselves on what they separately, in a Rashomon style film, heard, saw, and watched. So,
And he's
you
not
know,
lying. That's
no,
what he
no,
saw.
I don't think anybody is. I don't
That's
even
what he
think.
perceived. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everybody's telling their version of what this film within a film looked like to them.
And it's just crazy. So let me see.
And I went in and got the gun, took it outside with the armor. I said, show me those shells.
Okay.
And I don't know the exact count. I don't know if she fully loaded it, but I remember at least four dummy casings, because they had the hole drilled in the side. And then there was one casing that didn't have a hole in it.
Yeah, he breaks down there again. Yeah, he's
He
talking about.
breaks down longer
He
too.
breaks
I
down
didn't
right
bother.
there. Yeah, he
I didn't keep
completely-
it going. That's just
right.
not-
He really breaks down there. He says there's the one live round, right, Eric?
Yep.
Here's the one. Yeah. Wow,
Yep.
that's heavy, bro.
And everybody keep in mind, this is that day.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he knows Halyna has passed or not. I don't remember if they.
Yeah,
it's
he
happened,
does
but-
know, and then he doesn't know about the projectile though that's in Sousa. So he is
Right.
completely convinced that this is some projectile that flew out of a blank. That's why, you know, that's what his only explanation could be. But now he's saying he sees the shell casing that's not a blank or dummy shell casing.
Right, and so it's obviously, you know, he's still trying to process everything.
Yeah.
But this is what I like about it. This is as fresh as you can get. It's very close to the incident.
He doesn't even have a ride back to the set when this ends. It ends awkwardly. Like he doesn't know where to go or how to get
he's
out of
getting
there.
a phone call from somebody. And
Right,
asking,
he doesn't
"Do I
even know
pick
where
up?"
to go. And then the same thing with Sousa. At the beginning, he's in the hospital and he says, "I'll stay here as long as it takes. I'm going to go to an Airbnb." I think he fled the next day on foot or something back to LA. I don't think he stuck around.
I cut out the addresses and phone numbers.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not going to dox like
Thank you.
the Santa Fe Sheriff's Department, but yeah, a lot of that was the Airbnb and the address and where they can
Right.
get them.
Well, it's a rental anyway. I mean, you know,
I don't know.
probably
The
he
owner-
probably lives next door to me.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I just want to really confirm 5 minutes prior to her loading these with dummy rounds, it was empty. Okay.
Okay, the
So-
reason that's important is because it eliminates whatever happened in the morning, afternoon, lunch, before lunch. None of that matters. What that cop has figured this case out by that statement.
But here's the problem. And we have issues with that because, like Hannah said, that it was loaded. There were
Right.
5 rounds,
Right.
and it stayed loaded the whole
Right,
bunch, and
right.
then there was one more. So, what point of time? And that was frustrating. I'm also frustrated because in that interview, he did not say if he handed the damn gun to Baldwin. That drove me
yeah,
nuts.
I think that comes in another interview. I'm not sure where that is, but
I don't
hear
know,
that.
but
That's not in this series of interviews. But
no,
he claims within this is his testimony, within a 5-minute period, he saw a completely unloaded gun and then a gun with 3 blanks in it.
I know.
And then a gun. Whoa. The third part is the gun with the live round and the blanks still in the gun afterwards.
Which is very confusing.
Okay. That's his testimony. Well, not
But
testimony.
I am not confused about the grift. Thank you, Georgina Wilson.
I can't
You
live
are
without
a
this
sweetheart.
woman. I go to bed at night thinking, will Georgina Wilson like the show? I mean,
I know.
I hope I got dressed up for her. I mean, I try to do the best I can to keep this going, you know.
You're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, lady.
Georgina.
Thank you. Thank you, magical lady.
Very.
Okay, what do you have now? More arm. The
And,
greatest arm in cop history.
what's
by the
your
way.
No, I know, but she's covering the tats, so we don't get to see sexy tats.
Oh, wait, there's more later. I'll show you something else she's covering in the next episode.
impression of her?
Fine, I'm not used to seeing female armor and armor of that age.
Okay.
Wait. I can't hear that, Eric. What is he
All
saying?
right, this is
You're going to
isn't
have to explain it.
This isn't a really big deal part. She's asking, "What's your impression of Hannah?"
Oh,
And he said,
well, it's a big deal
fine,
to
fine.
me.
I'm not really used to seeing a female armorer, though. And then he's
Okay.
going to continue, and hopefully people can hear it. I know it's soft, but
Right.
Has
No offense.
right. Over the past, or however long that you've been working with her, has there been anything to, give you flags that she would do something to this level?
sabotage question.
I mean, we had a couple misfires, meaning
Okay, we got the accident. He said misfires, but it's technically accidental discharges. Seth would correct me very quickly if I didn't say that. And answering that.
that the gun would go off in transport, like it'd be pointed down the ground, it would go off. But that happens sometimes.
He's saying it happens
But no,
sometimes.
I mean, she was very diligent about doing the checks. There was never
She was very
a
diligent.
gun that said
Yep.
that wasn't checked.
Okay.
And I understand she has 2 other females that assist her on this. And your impression of them, their work ethic and experience. No issues.
I don't know how anybody that age could have that much experience in guns.
Repeat that line, Eric, because that's a good
He's
line.
saying, I don't know how anyone that age can have that kind of experience.
And he's talking about all 3.
Correct.
The
Well,
crew.
they're all the same. 2 of them are 24, and one of them 17.
Right. It is a little strange. And forget about the woman male part, because he just said, I've never had a female armor before. But I think if she was 45 years old and worked on 35 films, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Meaning Hannah.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. They're all.
She's saying, okay, meaning Hannah, and he's saying all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Yeah. He's saying Zachary and Nicole, is it the name? Or
Yeah, Nicole. I don't remember Montoya.
Yeah.
Nicole Montoya. So yeah, that's the.
My name, Nicole Montoya.
And it's a it's a valid point.
It is a valid point. It's 3 of them together with no mentor, really.
Yeah, Seth isn't
Except
there.
for Seth, I guess, who may or may not be the mentor. Again, this is.
Well, he did a cease and desist saying that I am not the armorer mentor. So
Okay, but that's bandied about throughout
you
the. Go ahead. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
No. It definitely is. I'm sorry. I was just queuing up.
Right,
Keep
right.
talking. I'm trying to multitask in this crazy shop that we have going. All right, so I'm not sure what we have here.
Consider this incident to be more of an accident, or would you say it was
Okay, this is important stuff because they're starting to kind of dig in, like they were asking about Hannah. Did she
Mhm.
do anything that makes you suspect anything? And now just kind of asking around, hey, is everything okay? Did you
Mhm.
see anything weird?
deliberate?
Oh, it's an accident.
He says it's an accident.
And what makes
It's
you say that?
actually an accident. There's absolutely no reason why that would be deliberate. The DP was a lovely woman.
Okay, so he does know. And it's fresh. He does know because he said the DP he caught
Right.
himself in it.
Right, but he still doesn't know her name.
But he said it earlier.
Right, but again, if I knew you, I wouldn't say, the cameraman. I would just say Eric.
I guess, but he did say Halyna earlier,
Right.
and then a DP now.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess it depends on the moment of what
Yeah.
are you playing?
Yeah.
There we go.
I just think that a live blank round got mixed into that dummy load batch.
You think?
Okay.
He's right. But that's
I mean, well-
contradicting himself.
Yeah.
He's contradicting himself by saying that.
Yeah. I mean, but I find it encouraging that he's not throwing anyone under the bus. He's literally saying, I just, I can't see it because he's human.
Right, but he was fanatically insisting that this had to be a blank in the first part of the video.
I agree. I
Now
don't
he's
know.
saying it becomes apparent that a live round was mixed in with the batch.
Yeah.
Okay, just pointing it out.
I don't know.
I'm just pointing it out. I mean, this is within a couple of minutes. He's,
Sure. I mean, well, I don't.
I
He's so confused on it. Oh my God, folks! Frame this moment, okay?
okay. What do you got?
This is important.
Let's go.
Alex has lined up the camera.
She realizes this 95 minutes into the event, but go on. This is finally a full shot. I sent you some screen grabs, by the way, just so you could see this, Eric, the other night, because this was the first time I had seen a full frame thing, but finally.
Yeah, I pulled from this area to get the thumbnail.
Okay.
really don't remember. If this is one of them, I don't remember all the ones that I saw, except the casing that didn't have the hole in it. Every round that I saw, except one, had the hole in it. That's my recollection.
Okay.
Okay, except one. Afterwards or before?
I think the casing that was fired, because when he opened, he said he saw the one in there.
And also he made Hannah remove them.
Yes.
Okay, so he's saying after the fact when they removed them, but keep in mind they were never removed in his presence before that.
No.
Okay.
They were not. And yes, Dickie's pointing out this is true. Blanks do have a primer and a load.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I could see. I'm going to give him a little bit of a break on it with the confusion going back and forth of blank and live, because at one point, I don't know if we have it here, they were saying live rounds, as in live. They're talking about, we're cops, we fire actual bullets, and he was saying live, and then they were saying, oh wait, he goes, no, never that. So a live round is a blank.
Yeah.
That is the live round.
Yeah.
And ID girl
I'm not a
77.
gun person. There's a lot of interviews about what was in the gun. Is it that difficult or easy to really know what is in the gun visually, in your opinion?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is. Because you have dummies and you've got the live rounds and then you've got blanks. I mean, you got three different things going on.
It's easier to identify a blank actually than it is a dummy if you're looking from the front,
Right.
Because
But
if
who's
you're
going
looking
to
for
take
the
the gun
front,
and
you
point
don't.
it at you? You're not going to do this.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying that that's why the dummy rounds exist, is so
Oh,
when the
yeah.
camera's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah. Well,
front.
we've discussed this in many other episodes. I'm sorry.
But yeah, for sure, for
We
sure.
must
But
go on.
thank you for the
Thank you,
super
though.
chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other one was a casing with no hole
So like this second one
without the bullet.
without the bullet. Okay. And this was
So that was what came out of the gun. There
What's
would
that?
be no, but that's what came out of the gun. It was a casing
Right.
with
Yeah.
no hole
Yeah.
without the bullet. The bullet, obviously, we know where the bullet is.
after you had her clear the gun.
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
Who else has access to the ammo cart?
Nobody should.
Nobody
Is it
should.
ever left out?
I think so. Yeah.
So some people could have it's there.
It's there.
Anybody could have it.
Now, look, I can't tell you, I can't recall ever walking by one of those carts and going and making a note, oh, there's a box of ammo. I really can't. So I know when we went to clear the gun, there was boxes of ammo.
Okay, so he's saying that, I guess maybe you get the same impression that the cart, which is where she's going with this, the cart is full, unprotected with boxes of ammo.
Yeah, it's just a cart. I mean, I think that makes sense. He just, there's a cart there. He just walks by. You don't sit there and necessarily inventory it, especially if you're busy. I don't think he
Right,
really
but
is thinking
what
about it.
from the cops' point of view, they're saying you just have this cart with ammo all day sitting out in the middle of nowhere,
Right, and then
unprotected, unsecured ammo, right?
of course. But then his
Okay.
point of view is, well, they're dummies and
Right,
blanks.
right,
Who
right,
cares? I mean,
Right,
it's like
exactly. Except when
They
the
weren't.
cops get there, they find the live rounds on the cart, Eric.
and the floor and in the bag, and I mean,
Right.
it's like, I don't know. It's like, where's the round? Where's Waldo? I mean, they were all over the place, which is
Right.
nuts.
Right. That is
That-
kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, rounds everywhere. Yeah. Oh, there's one over here. Hey, Bill, there's one here. Good Lord.
What's the protocol on scene for live ammo?
Here we go.
For live ammo? Well, it depends on certain situations, if you're indoors or what kind of smoke level you want it to come out of the gun.
No, I'm talking real bullets.
There it is.
Use real bullets. Never use real bullets. Never. Even if you have to show something on the ground, like dust or something, it's always done with a dust gun, or they put little pyrotechnic they call squibs, little firecrackers that have an electric charge. You bury a cable, if you need machine gun fire, that's how you do that. No, there's no that's beyond the realm of thought.
See, and that was a significant thing where the communication comes in. Live ammo to him is blanks. And he even said, he was like, oh, how much smoke?
Yeah, he
do you
doesn't
need?
know what she's talking about, right, Eric?
Yeah. So I think,
but then he gives a wonderful delineation of even using a dust gun and squibs when you're fired rounds into the dirt visually on a film. You're using a dust gun or squibs. So, I mean, he very nicely explains that to them.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting too. Like, I guess you have like what does he say? A line of squids. So then when you have the machine gun go down the line, I guess that's like what he's discussing.
What Baldwin was trying to explain. Sorry, what Baldwin was trying to explain was the pews were squibbed also, and they have to be squibbed to blow in the shootout in the church. So you've got those squibs, which are explosives, and they have previously hurt people too, Eric.
Oh, a squib will hurt people. I mean,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
it's
got a lot of weird explosive devices here.
Yeah, and I imagine now, I'm just guessing that they lay out the squibs and do the shot, and then probably speed it up to make it.
Well, again, that's
seem
where
like
Gandhi comes in. That's why Gandhi's important, because he's, I presume, doing the squibs.
Yeah, I mean, he's an expert on all that.
Right, and
And
he's
I
also an
think-
expert on the volume of the sound, which is and also the amount of smoke and amount of explosive. So Gandy's not an amateur. He's
No,
got
no.
some, yeah,
And he would have to be an expert on the sound because
yeah,
can you use this on this
yeah, especially
shot or whatever?
indoors like that. Oh, Ralph is back. Eric must be lighting his blunts with $2 chat, so I guess I'll have to hang in it. That's funny. That's
All right.
funny.
Well, you got my back, Rolf. Thank you.
I
so
get my
much.
herring from Ralph, by the way. I get creamed herring he ships to me instead of a super chat, which I love. Thank you, Ralph, for the herring. Thank you.
P. Willie, yeah, you got a point.
That's right. The set behavior is equivalent to playing Russia. Well, more like Ukrainian roulette now. We've changed the name.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to go there. Thank you.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay. Roll 'em, Floyd.
Yeah, I really want you to understand this, and it's kind of hard.
And that's really
If you
what.
haven't been around it, look, again, I don't know if there's been any forensics done. There's probably not. But if this is a 45, you guys know more than I do what a 45 does to a body.
They don't know.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it probably would have gone right through the director too, and through the wall and back of him. I'm not an expert, but I don't think that there was any way that a real 45 caliber bullet was on the set. It was a blank.
Okay.
It was a blank, but I don't know what's inside those blanks.
Mm.
You know?
But your experience with blanks,
You know?
how much power or damage or anything have you seen? Before.
I've never seen any damage. And when there's different levels of loads, there's a quarter load, a half load, and a full load. And sometimes it all depends on what the level of smoke you need. It's a quarter load sometimes doesn't produce a lot of smoke. So if you want more smoke, you would go to a half load.
Okay.
A full load is rarely used, especially indoors because they're loud. And we follow the safety protocols. We provide ear protection. If you're anywhere in the line of fire, eye protection is available. Actors are always well trained, and I'm always very aware of this. You never point the gun at somebody. You always point it off. Okay, and you can compensate with camera and to make it look like you're pointing it.
I wanted to go a little further because he's talking about protocols and things like that. And
Okay.
it's giving us a little bit of the vibe of what's
Right.
going on.
Well, he explains quite a bit there. He goes back to this idea of the blank load, maybe being a full load. And, he also, which I latched onto originally, saying that the 45 is not going to stop at that close proximity in the shoulder of the director, unless the projectile itself is not a full bullet projectile. Eric, have you ever thought of that? In other words, like the Crow situation. He's
Well,
saying,
we talked about that, except they found actual rounds. That's why I'm like,
I know. Yeah.
These are the bulletized blanks? That doesn't make sense.
I know. I don't know.
So,
maybe both. Maybe there was live rounds, and this is
there's a live round. I mean, we already have.
Well, how does it stop in the guy's shoulder then from 2 feet away?
Well, now
if I took my 45 Beretta and shot you,
it went through her first, then
Right.
into him,
and ends up in
the
his shoulder.
1800
He's right next to her, 2 inches away.
Oh, sorry to hear that, HP Brian.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you got a huge severance. Okay, very cool.
Sex. Do more CIA stuff. There's going to be more CIA stuff, my friend. As long as I'm breathing,
sure.
There's going to be more.
Oh, for sure.
So they take me down.
Also, I have read that the 45 rounds used for older weapons, it has less actual gunpowder.
Okay, well, we're going to have to bring Seth in on this because that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Except Seth doesn't do live ammo.
but he understands guns and ammo. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Isn't he the editor of Guns and Ammo magazine or something? Or,
He's got the FFL. I'll give him that. I don't know.
I mean, he knows more than I do, that's for sure. But then again, everybody else does too. So,
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It is very weird, and he's completely confused.
mm-hmm.
And did I already go through that? No.
Mr. Baldwin
Okay.
told me he talked to the director of the hospital.
Wait, what is he saying? I can't hear him.
That the X-ray.
I'm sorry.
showed-
Mr. Baldwin told me he talked to the director about, and then you said, hold on.
Okay.
And the director told him that the X-ray showed a bullet-shaped object in his shoulder.
So he knows this.
Yes.
He knows this. Okay, I didn't know he knew this.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin called him apparently, or he talked to Baldwin, and
okay.
Baldwin
All
said
right.
he talked to the director and passed this information on.
Well, that must be pretty recent because,
Yes.
okay.
You probably don't want to. You would know that by now. But if it's this, how could that not cause more damage?
Yeah, he loses it there. That was another spot where he breaks up.
Yeah,
I mean-
and understandably, what I'm saying is that he comes across as a normal human being who has emotions. They had represented him in the press as just, he was just this nightmare dick, and everybody hated
Well,
him.
the
and
job
da, da,
is being a dick. I mean, I've had substitute teachers that were dicks. They're probably nice when they weren't trying to stop us from blowing up the classroom, But
Well,
in real
yes,
life,
he
he's
is.
got to be a dick. That's the job of a dick, that job, the AD, first AD.
For sure. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is tragic. I do try to keep that in mind and not just, like the whole Johnny Depp trial or things. That one I take a whole lot less seriously because there is a degree of a couple of rich
doesn't even
people stuff.
compare. They don't compare.
Right. So somebody died here, and
It's apples and oranges. It's apples.
Yeah, it's really. So it's like we try to joke with each other, but we're not joking about the incident. And
Right. But tragedy plus time equals
Is comedy.
comedy.
sure.
So we've had tragedy and time, and now I have to be let loose.
and he wore the suit, folks. He dressed up for it.
Sorry.
And where was his equipment located when he came to pick it up this morning?
Looper comes into the picture.
Oh yeah, this is the Looper quitting
Yes.
phase, right?
This is Lane Looper. He talks about a little bit more about how he quit. We're getting to the meat of it.
At the camera truck.
Which is where?
In the same area where the prop truck would be.
So where the guns are.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Did
That's why-
anybody?
Yeah, I respect you're trying to cover all the bases. I think you're picturing that somebody walked into the prop truck. A disgruntled camera guy walked into the prop truck in the morning and put a live bullet.
We
in the
might have
gun
suggested
Alec
that.
Baldwin.
She didn't suggest that, though.
Check the gun,
No,
Right.
and we confirmed that it was an empty gun.
We suggested that day
Yeah.
one, right, Eric?
no, probably about day 5. We've been all
Day
over the
5.
map.
Looper was my main suspect on day 5.
But we've changed suspects 26 times.
Right.
We're
But she's just
inconsistent.
putting it out there. And she didn't even say that. He said that.
Right. Well, she was going down that path. I mean, come
Right.
on.
But he's
You
not
know
taking the bait about Looper, though.
No, which is cool. And he did also say later that Looper and Halyna were pretty close, and that there's not super bad feelings about him leaving. He didn't seem to have an issue with that.
Right. And he also, keep in mind, he said he checked an empty gun 5 minutes before he checked a loaded gun. So
Mhm.
whatever Looper may or may not have done in the afternoon or in the morning at 7 in the morning.
Yeah,
when
no
did
matter
Looper-
when the gun was, Looper was already gone.
Right. So, but could Looper have scattered live rounds all over
Sure.
the place? Thank you. Keep that in mind, because that
So could
might
the
have
food
been
truck
his-
driver.
What's that?
So could anyone on the set.
but not everyone had a motive.
From what I hear, there's a few motives.
Okay, I don't want to let Looper completely off the hook. I mean, because these are just, maybe it's not Looper, maybe it's the guys in his crew said, fuck this, I'm just going to fuck this shit, just scatter these bullets everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it alone. And however, there is somebody he did have issues with.
Okay.
Out of all of those people, including yourself, is there anybody that has been having issues with anybody else on set? Or anybody else in general? Have they been having any issues that you know of?
No.
That would be concerning?
No, but I'm going to say something.
Uh-oh.
Because this person, I don't think is psychologically very well put together.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Telephone for Gloria Allred.
Mamie, M-A-I-M-E. Her and I had an encounter at lunch.
Today?
Yeah, because...
Okay, now, anyone who remembers the 911 call, there's something we point out that
right.
Son of a bitch assistant director. In the 911 call, while she's announcing this to the police, she's so concerned about Dave Hall. So,
right.
Yes, it was noted by Dave.
I don't know. Mamie's... I don't know. I can see Mamie saying something.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. She just, thought that the whole thing was just a shit show, and and she just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. And she's an older woman. She's been in the business for 40 years, and she constantly reminds everybody. And So when the incident happened, she was like, very vocal about the producers. Why don't you go back to Georgia? And then,
wow.
I don't know how she was feeling about me.
She didn't like you.
She's a bit crazy.
A bit crazy. I don't know if you have the video of her with the cops afterwards, Eric, but she goes after the cops and they merely said they were going to bring the company lawyer there, and she goes berserk over that. She's really not happy.
I have a short little clip of her.
Is there a little clip of her just talk? I just want people to get a visual of what this woman, there she is.
There's Mamie, but yeah, this is just her talking about the company lawyer. I cut out all that because the wind was just blowing.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of ambient.
So this gets a point across. To introduce this, she talked about how a lawyer from the production company is supposed to accompany her to speak to the police,
right? And she doesn't like that.
She's giving her opinion. Then the cops suggest something, so we'll let it play.
Right.
I think the reason why they're doing it is because they're looking out for the best interest of everybody here.
No, they're not. They're looking at for their interest. I don't want to know about that.
Well,
I have no interest.
We'll be the first time it's completely up to you.
Yeah, and I will share that with the rest of the people. We don't need their lawyer in the back.
Oh, tough girl. Well, that gives you a sample of Mamie right there. I mean, these are the two parents of the movie, by the way. There's always parents of the movie, and the parents in this movie are Dave Hall's and Mamie. Because Dave Hall's first film goes back to 1996. I don't know where Mamie's goes back to, but his first, ironically, the first project he ever worked on was in 1996, and it's called You Have the Right to Remain Silent.
Well, and you know what? He has been doing this because the next question is, I want a lawyer.
Right.
Actually, he did talk quite a bit in the questioning. But as a bonus, before we cut out for the evening, people might want to know what Detective Hancock looks like. So we got a little reach back to our previous episode, what happened later on that day from another lapel cam.
Oh, that's a good one.
So there is Alex Hancock.
Okay, I just want to point out one thing here. Go ahead, run that. If you want to run that.
Yeah. It's pretty standard. So.
Now you're saying so. Why is she wearing a scarf?
I know it's hot in the room.
Right. Why are you wearing the scarf? And I'm going to show you why she's wearing the scarf. If you get later into the video, you will see later on she takes the scarf off. Oh, she's playing with the hair. Dude, this is an entire project with this woman. Let me, here we go. She doesn't have a top button on the blouse. And she now, oh, here we go. You will see her later that she has it unbuttoned down to her cleavage. That's why she was wearing the scarf, by the way.
Just need some misters. Yeah, like you need some plants in here or something.
Anyway, you get the point.
Yeah. It's just more stuff with this woman. We could do a whole series just on her. Maybe we'll get into the Hancock series, but yeah, there's something wrong there. Just whatever. I'll leave this to the women viewers. This is way out of my field of expertise.
However, she does ask some pretty solid questions,
absolutely.
And she digs in. So,
yep, it's not bad.
Credit to her. Yeah, we got to work on a little rough edges here, like camera work.
Right.
And by the way, camera work, and we could really work on some camera work.
Well, isn't there the overhead 24/7 camera?
There is.
In other words, there's another
feed.
There's another feed.
And that's what's weird, is not all of these are recorded on that, because we got confused. I thought that it was going to be body cam, same interviews. It turns out no, that there was the overhead that we played before of Hannah, and then we went to the body cam footage, which is different interviews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, it's very frustrating.
Very frustrating. Just from a visual point of view.
Definitely. But speaking of frustrating, next Tuesday, I don't think there's going to be a show.
What are you trying to pull, Hunley? These people worked all week, and this is all they do, Hunley, is wait for these stupid shows. What do you?
And you know what? I'm gonna say, I've got a good excuse. Next Tuesday is Mark's birthday, folks, and Mark needs his birthday off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really need that. I'm going to celebrate out in the field, but eventually, I guess maybe. Well, then Friday we got the free form with Barnes, then, right?
No, not. That's a week later. So
okay. So maybe Friday we could do the Jonas Salk thing then.
Yeah, I think so. I think that while we will do more Alec Baldwin, we may take a break.
Hate this. Some people hate
we'll be taking a break.
I can't go on. We got to keep going with Baldwin until there's a trial. Come on, Hunley. Quit blue balling us. He's right. Or she's right. I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
Come on, Hunley. These people work all week just to see these Baldwin shows.
I know. But
you know how many videos they made that I'm looking at videos all day like a monkey yesterday trying to find something that's relevant. I mean, there's so much video of every single thing is in that treasure trove. So it's going to, you know what? That'll give me some time. Next week,
you know what?
Cross.
That's true. Monday and Tuesday is going to be all Amber Heard all day. And
all right. She's right. Is Dirk a woman or a man, by the way? I'm not really sure.
I don't know, Dirk.
Is Dirk a woman or a man? Dirk's Pat from Saturday Night Live.
A vamp.
Yeah, a vamp. Okay, so what do you have? You have any merch or anything in the meantime? You have anything to tell?
I'm wearing the illustrious America's Untold Stories t-shirt, which is available now. And Catherine S., thank you so much.
Friday and talk about Baldwin. Yeah, I mean, Catherine's right. I feel sorry. These people have earned the right to party with the Baldwin episodes. They have fought for their right to party.
And here we are.
Right.
And you could party in a t-shirt or party in a polo.
Okay.
Party with a ball cap.
Right.
Don't you have a couple of ball caps?
Yes, I do. I wear them every day. Not both of them, but I wear one if I go
You
out.
should have one nearby to show it off. Like I've got.
Well, I do. It's in the closet. But, look at that. That's pretty attractive.
Camper cup. Yeah.
What is it? It looks like. Hold on. Hold that cup up. I just want to see some perspective of the cups.
Yeah, I think yours is still the larger bowl with a handle.
I got to get one of those on my thing here. Now, I'm going to talk to you briefly about the largest decision, the most important decision you're ever going to have to make in your lives. I know you probably planned out your family, planned college, planned the funerals of loved ones, but this is a decision that only you and your loved ones can make at home. And that's whether or not to actually subscribe to America's Untold Stories. I can't make that decision for you. Eric can only recommend it or whatever he wants to do. But you at home have to decide, should I subscribe to America's Untold Stories? It's a very personal, private decision. You may have to talk to a religious figure, a rabbi, a priest, a victor. Is that a thing? A victor is a thing? Or is that-
Vicar.
A Vicar. I'm sorry. Yeah, Victor is the winner. It's not, you're going to have to make this. We can no longer browbeat you into submission that you should subscribe. This is obviously, well, mine's the 16th, but nice try, Cherokee girl. Let's get together and discuss the entire.
Oh, oops. Okay, I misquoted your birthday on the wrong day.
But anyway, this is a decision you're going to have to make with your loved ones and whoever your advisory staff is, whether to subscribe to America's Untold Stories or not. We can no longer do your thinking for you. This is something that's very personal. Apparently, I'm just finding this out. It's the first time I've ever had a YouTube show, but apparently this thing is a very personal, religious type experience or decision that each family must make on their own, whether to subscribe to our channel.
But consider this. Kurt, also known as Uncivil Law, has brought up a good point. He said that a red subscribe button is sad, and you need to press it so it no longer be sad. A gray subscribe button is happy.
Happy
so
button.
We want to have happy buttons.
Right. Now, the PayPal funding, though, has nothing to do with any of this. You could PayPal me, and I'll put it back into the Mothman Fund, which has been rescheduled for September 6th, Eric, as I indicated to you, for that week in West Virginia, where I will have I'm going to have to get a Mothman outfit to attract the Mothman towards me. And that's going to be expensive in the costume department. I'm going to have to get a Mothman outfit. And then we're going to go into the field, which, of course, there's expenses for going out to the field as opposed to broadcasting from inside our own bunkers here on our respective coasts. Kurt is always sad. But yeah, so you could PayPal me for that funding for books and coffee directly. You could PayPal Eric. You could Venmo either one of us. You could subscribe. You could buy the merchandise. I would think about all this stuff, though, and try to get it over quickly before the end of the episode so we can see if
Locals.
this works. Oh, locals. I forgot.
Structured.locals.com.
A lot of people, let me tell you something. When I first started, I didn't know what locals was. So maybe you can explain it to them.
Locals is a repository of essentially everything I do. And I co-run it with Mark, if you will. And Mark puts up personal things, items, additives to shows, especially when we're doing real history versus Baldwin history. You're putting up scripts, you're putting up treasures, PDFs of books that you can't find anywhere. And if you do go buy them, they're $500 or whatever. PDFs are even hard to find. So that is a great place. If you're interested, you can follow us for free there. And we have subscriber only content that's additive, but you'll still get value no matter what by following us there. And if you want to find out what I'm doing, I have this bad habit in a lot of channels. So I pretty much on local state whatever I'm doing personally on all the different channels. And
well, we're also going to have this monthly thing, the Freeform Friday with Robert Barnes, which is a new thing, right, Eric? That's
yes,
upcoming the 27th of this month because Barnes is doing something on.
Normally it'll be the first Friday of the month, but on the second appearance, it's going to be the first official one is going to be on the last Friday of the first month, but it'll then move to the first Friday of the month. But Heather, whatever, locals is both free and subscription. We put some things behind the paywall, but I put a lot there that is free, like a show I do almost every week with Nate, No Holds Barred. That's only on locals. It's free. Anybody can watch that. And
but to get behind the paywall, you need to pay $3 a month or something?
It's $5 a month or $50 a year.
$50 a year. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a half a gram of Coke to you people out there. So come on, let's go break down. or to Amber Heard or to whoever is buying a half a gram of Coke. So.
Yeah, so put down the
That's
Coke
a full
spoon.
gram of meth, but look, it's up to you.
Okay. Well, that's why we have Mark. See, you can learn this kind of thing on locals. Mark will explain street pricing.
Well, the prices vary. The prices vary. And now I think this is the end of crypto from what I heard this past week. So if you want to unload we don't have Bitcoin, do we, Eric? We have
I think I have a Bitcoin link, but
okay,
you know
so
what?
if you want to unload your Bitcoin,
let us know. We will take any kind of donation in any way out there. So we hope to see you soon. It will be probably a week from today, unless you're on locals, because there will be some stuff going on.
Oh yeah, there's stuff on locals that tide you over. You can go on there and see what's in the attic.
In the attic or the basement.
The basement.
Or whatever's coming next.
Right.
Till next time.
See ya.
See ya.